Hey friends, sitting on the Pebble Beach of Puerto Rico, as you can see. I'm actually at a picnic table at a local restaurant, and I wish I brought my drink home, but I didn't want to carry it with me. So I used to have a lot of trouble traveling because I got really ingrained in routines and having everything accessible and at my disposal, because I had and still am working on have really bad control issues, and a lot of that has to do with just feeling safe in my body, which has to do with my nervous system, which has to do with my underlying core beliefs, irrational beliefs and cognitive distortions, that in order to feel safe, loved, and worthy, my body has to look a certain way. And since I have been doing a lot more work on myself, always doing work, but a lot more, and actually challenging myself and talking the talk, but you gotta walk the walk. So I've been walking the walk. I've been trying to use this very spontaneous trip as a challenge. Like, can I travel light? Do I need all of my stuff? And I don't mean just stuff as in clothes, but like, because I've struggled with so much stuff with like my health, and like I take, gut health supplements, and I have my different, my protein, I have my magnesium, I have my everything that I need. And I'm like, let's try to do something different, and let's try to just, I used to bring a lot of like protein bars and like snacks, and don't get me wrong, I still brought like protein powder, and I cooked chicken for the airplane, but we went to Walmart yesterday to get just like bare basics, and I'm like, it's hard because when I'm at home, I already know that I have like a lot of stuff already like backstashed, like spices and cooking mediums and like condiments and just like a whole bunch of stuff. And here I'm like, okay, starting from scratch, empty cupboards. What are the bare basics that I need? And I think this was a very interesting challenge to think about, okay, what are the bare basics? And you might be watching this, or you might not be watching this. You might have left a long time ago. I've never been like the go with the flow, really like passive kind of personality. I've always tried to be overly prepared and always in control of my surroundings, and that's laughable because it's like, this wind though. Okay, we might need to switch sides today. Oh, much better. And one might think like, get a better background now too. Like, you just go on the trip and you just eat what's there. You just go out to eat, and it's never been like that for me because of all of my control issues and my health issues and things like that. So this was a fun experience, and what made it a fun experience, or I guess rather a challenge, was how I framed it in my mind. So instead of my default, we have to become very aware of this, but instead of my default where I have to think about like, but I don't have this, but I don't have this, but I don't have that. And then what do I do for here? And then what about this? But I really want that. And it's like, pump the brakes, zoom out, and notice yourself doing this. And instead I like took that frame of like my default frame of how I would historically view the situation, and I'm like, change the frame. And the new frame is, how can I get by with just the bare basics? I'm wondering what this will be like. I'm wondering how this will work out, and I'm wondering what I'm going to feel with just these bare basics, and not having everything at my disposal, and maybe not having something that I thought that I had or that I wanted. And feeling that thing that's missing, feeling that sense of like, well, I want this, but I don't have it because I'm not driving 30 minutes back to the store, especially if I don't have a car by myself. And it really, like, the foundation of it is putting yourself in uncomfortable situations intentionally. And I think that's what's challenging me to do. Not that I'm uncomfortable, but obviously our brains like the norm. They like what's expected. They like routine. They like control and certainty. And what's scary for our brains is the uncertainty of how we're going to feel without the thing that we want. In this case, it sounds like a really dumb example, but I'm thinking about, like, okay, I am very routine. I'm sure you've seen my bowls that I've posted. I'm very routine. Like, I have my spring mix, and then I have I make like potatoes and my chicken and my carrots and my hummus and my vegetables and my balsamic glaze and my sriracha and my tahini, and I like make it this whole thing and these are all things that, like, when I'm shopping at home, I'm like, I need this, where it's really, I want this. But here it's like, how can I get by with the bare minimum and not worry about that feeling of lack? One, knowing it's temporary, and two, being like, this could be a very refreshing experience. So as I'm walking along this Pebble Beach, I'm thinking, like, part of me kind of likes the simplicity of it. Like, I expected myself to be so caught up in wanting, feeling what I'm missing, not having everything that I usually do. Essentially, all of those things are ways of saying I was afraid of the feeling of not being in control of my surroundings, of what I have, of, whether I get to exercise and work out. Like, and as I'm walking down this beach, I'm like, I don't feel that. I'm not feeling the lack. I'm not missing it, really. And yeah, my preference would be to have it, to have the certainty of a gym to go to literally right downstairs, like at home, to open the fridge and have everything I want at my disposal, all of my usual things, to have my typical supplements, to have to have everything I need at my disposal. And I sound really redundant. But instead, it's a refreshing feeling of detachment. You see, the reason we suffer or stress or are disappointed or unhappy is that we attach. We attach to things. We attach to outcomes. We attach to people. And the funny thing is, none of those things are permanent. None of those things are entirely within our control. And so it really brings a sense of freedom when you can detach. And that's what I'm kind of experiencing right now. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but I also like to see it as growth. Like, you don't grow through comfort. And so there's also, the feeling of knowing, again, that it's temporary here. But I'm like, eventually I get used to it. If I was here longer, I would definitely get used to it, not having everything. Like, it's another stupid example, and I'm more rambling now. So I freaking love tahini. That's like my main source of fat. Like, I love tahini. It's also a source of a lot of other things. But as soon as I'm like running low on tahini, I'm like, I gotta get more. I gotta get more. And here, I'm just like, I don't have it. I don't need it. It's weird because when you put yourself in a different environment, at least this is what I've noticed when I've traveled, my needs change. What I feel like I need at home, move this, there we go. What I feel like I need at home, I go somewhere else and I don't need it anymore. Like, what I feel like I'm attached to at home, I'm not really missing when I'm traveling or somewhere else. And I think so much of that is what we associate with our environment. Like, I love having my like Ninja protein creamy ice cream thing at night at home. Even if I'm full, I'm like, I want my Ninja protein creamy. Like, I want my ice cream. Even if I'm full. Here, I'm like, I don't have it. That's cool. But I also don't feel the need for it. It's like this shift of environment has shifted my expectations of and my anticipation of needs, desires. It's very liberating, and maybe you can relate, maybe you can't, because I'm talking in a very convoluted way. This is really unfortunate because this is how my brain works. So really what I wanted to do was get it on paper to like get clear with it and then speak about it. But that didn't happen. So here we are. I feel like sometimes it's better when it's more off the cuff anyway. Well, it's not better. It's just not as polished. It's not as authentic. But, hey, if you're still watching this, I appreciate you. Really, what I am communicating is detachment. Just being able to challenge yourself to detach from the things that you thought that you wanted, the things that you thought that you needed. Enjoying things for what they are now. And I'm still going to try to run. I'm not going to try. Well, I am going to try. It's no sidewalk here. So I got to like dodge cars. Yeah. Kind of wish y'all could be here with me. Lovely, lovely. So, I guess it's, thinking about something right now in your life, whether it's a person, a thing, a specific outcome. What are you holding on to? What are you investing so much energy into trying to cling onto, which is sort of like a form of resistance because you're not giving into the flow of what is. Oh gosh, an ant. Get off of my foot. What are you resisting right now? What are you attached to? What area of life, if you were to detach, would allow you to feel more free? Sometimes that attachment, not sometimes, pretty much all the time, that attachment keeps us from happiness. Because we are never going to have that full control. And the sooner we realize that, the more peaceful and abundant and happy our lives will be.